Hello, everyone. Here I am, Jeffrey W. Ingram, the co-host and founder of the World Builders Anvil podcast. And today, I wanted to talk a little bit uh, about brainstorming a video game. And the episode 268, which just released on Sunday, link is in the description if you're actually interested. Um, we were sort of talking certain types of features around battles. Diplomacy, war, and domain control, and me started brainstorm out ideas in certain parts um, of the game that I want to create. And so, as I said before, I'll be using RPG Maker MV. It's simple. It has a lot of assets that come with it. So, in that way, it'll be somewhat generic because I don't have the funds to purchase a bunch of assets for it. But I do have um, uh, this simple engine that I can get going in rather simply. And so I thought for once, I talk a lot about framing your world and doing all of these things. So I wanted to sort of talk about this project as I'm going through it as an example for people when you're getting started, because I think a lot of times we overbuild our worlds and we don't think about the consequences when we do that. We just think, hey, this would be good if we accomplished, if we got the world done, we can start a project. But I always say you need to do it the opposite way. You need to think first about what you're trying to accomplish with the world, because once you do that, once you know what you want to accomplish with the world, then you have a better idea of what you need to build. And it'll be set in my World Guard duel, so I will have a lot of the world building elements where I want to go. And it's also in a video game format, so I don't necessarily know exactly what the limitations are. I've never used this software before, so I'll be kind of learning along. And I think I'll be doing some lives, probably on my profile, maybe shared out to my page or the Undercraft group. But the idea is, in this Tuesday tidbit, I wanted to get going and talk about some of the things. So first off, since this was a video game, I've never done this type of project before, I went and I found some help. There was a pretty good blog I found. I don't see the link right here. I will drop a link in the comments here later to the post I found, which someone gave their Keep It Simple Stupid, which I'm a very big fan of. Being a programmer, I always feel you need to keep things as simple as possible, but you need some controls in place before you get going. And the first thing that they suggested was come up with the core idea. Just a one sentence thing. I kind of call this a mission statement, even though it's not really a good use of either term. But the idea is very briefly, what is the thing I want to do is I want to create a game where a hero inherits a title and land and uses them to plot revenge on his father's murderer. Even though I said murder in the description below. Once I get that, I want to think of the features I want in the game. So there'll be a lot of classic JRPG types of features in there. And then if you listen to episode 268, you'll get some ideas where I want a little bit of land management, and I want a little bit of battle management, and a feel of a little war happening in the game. Even though I think the war feeling is going to be more role-playing strictly, it'll be conveyed through scenes, less conveyed through an actual system. But I want a battle system. I want a system to help manage your domain so you can keep things moving. And to do that, I'll need certain types of elements. And when I come up with the features, I'll kind of list them in there. One's going to be some kind of clock management is needed. So I can say it's a new month. Something happens, there will always be a new event every month. I'm hoping. And a lot of times, when I'm thinking up something like this or a story for something bigger, I think bigger than what I'll probably need, and then I end up cutting things out. The next thing I'm going to do after I figure out the core idea and the features, I'm going to focus on the story. And this is my own adaptation of what's in the article listed below, because the idea is I'm a story first kind of guy. And really it's just going to be a brief description of what the basic plot is. And then I'll probably come up with a full plot which I can then turn into a game flow, which will say, okay, these are the scenes that need to happen for the game. And once I have it for the main plot, I'll add in subplots and other kinds of plots. I'm not sure how long the game is going to be. Hopefully, I probably won't have time to make something longer than a 10-hour type of game. But I'll see. So the ideas, I don't know how many subplots there are going to be. A lot of this for me is a proof of concept for some of the ideas to maybe do something bigger at some point. And then once I've come up with the core ideas, the features, the story, the game flow, I'm going to go into the characters. And right now I have one character. It's Wolfum. I'm pronouncing it incorrectly, but he is essentially the leader. He's a count in this small county, which is sort of at the edge of his country. It's an area where when the orcs took over the arm of the world, the last of the human kingdom's forces were held up in this area, and then a treaty was struck where they surrendered. They stayed there, broke up the land into a couple different counties with an orc overlord. And a lot of the story is going to be the human hero versus the orc overlord, who's obviously the guy who killed his father. Now, after I get done with all of this stuff, I'll need to think of the world building needs. What are the things in my world that I don't already have built? And luckily, a lot of these things I've built, I don't know names of many of the people in the area. I need a little bit, I know for the orcs already, because the Ordesen orcs, I really don't know much about. They've only ever been sort of a distant threat, never directly engaged. So, but what their idea of a duke would be, he's in charge of the counts in this area, the human counts, and he has to be kind of a harsh guy. There's going to be some other things. It's going to be, some story plot in there about what happens when corporations and government work together. There'll be some storylines that I find interesting. Once I get that all done, I'll put together a list of all my needs in a Trello board, and I will actually use that as a checklist where I can track where things are done. Here, a list of all my characters. I'm working on them. I've completed them. Here's a list of all the locations. And there'll actually be extra world building needs as well too, because I don't have village maps, and I want to have a unique village map for all the locations you visit here. So there'll be a lot of map making, and I'll probably on my profile, if you want to go ahead and friend me or just follow me, I will comment as myself when I leave the link, just so you can get back to my profile. I think I can like as me already here, but the idea is when you start world building, if you don't have an end goal in mind, and you start world building, you can world build forever, because worlds always evolve and change, and real worlds are living entities that are always changing. So you can't finish world building unless you know the objective you're moving towards. And so one of the things I want to do with this project is kind of show that I think we're over world building. I think we're focused too much on things that are irrelevant to the end user's needs. So I hope you'll enjoy these videos. I'll probably be sharing them to this page, and I'll be sharing them into the Undercroft group as well too. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you later. Have a good day. Bye-bye.